I've been thinking recently about how pressure doesn't really go away. And I figured out after multiple experiences that it's because it becomes a part of how we define ourselves. I know it sucks. I know pressure sucks. Like, believe me, it's one of the hardest feelings that you ever have, especially when you're trying to rest and you can't. But maybe the solution to this problem that it is simpler than what we thought before. So in this video, we're going to be talking about it, and I'm going to be talking about how I dealt with pressure over the years of undergrad and throughout my application to medical school. Hi, I'm Malanud, and I'm an undergrad at UC Berkeley and a future medical student. So I know what pressure feels like. So let me tell you how I dealt with it. So what made me really want to record this video was the break. I already got my acceptance into medical school. I did very well in my classes. I figured out how to study. I became more efficient. It's my senior year, so I've been in college for 3 years. I perfected how I studied. I was comfortable where I am. I got into med school, so that was the biggest barrier I ever had in my undergrad career, and I was done with one of my honor theses, only just a little bit of stuff, and it will be done. So it should be the break. It was the break. But when I went back home, where I am right now, I constantly felt pressure to do something, and I couldn't rest. I really sat down and thought about it. I had the time to do so why not think about it? And I realized the reason why I really feel this pressure, as I said in the beginning of the video, was it's because of who I am. It's a part of who I am. I feel like a failure if I don't feel pressure to do something, or I think I'm lazy, which I realize is because of a lot of stuff in my life and all of your lives, because if you clicked on this video, you do feel this feeling. And I really just started working on myself. I don't know if I say working on myself, because it's more like I just talk to myself. Okay, I swear to God, I'm not schizophrenic. I just like talking to myself. Okay, so I was just thinking, I'm like, why do I feel guilty every time I rest? Why do I need to constantly feel like I have to have a goal to do? Why am I doing this when I consciously know that I need this to rest? I need this to succeed. I need this to get prepared for what I'm gonna do for the next, 12 years of my life, if I end up doing what I want to do. So this was the perfect time to rest, but my brain was not letting me do it. I kept looking up anatomy courses when I know I didn't need to learn anatomy till I'm in medical school. I looked up what to do before med school, or what to do between this and that. And another thing I also constantly did was I started also a diet for no reason. I don't know why I did it. I still don't know why I'm doing it. But I started looking for goals, and I was like, no, I need to stop. I started recording again on YouTube, even though I tried to do this 3 million times before, so it's not like it was something new. But still, I really, really didn't know why I kept trying to find a goal or something to do. So I just thought, and I realized it's because I was trying to impress people, but not really impress people. I was trying to impress myself so it impresses people. It's this internalized feeling or internalized expectation that progress is always, and I need to progress every day. If I don't do it, that means I'm lazy or something else. And I think it comes from religion too, not only just expectations from parents. But what religion like tries to drill in you since you're very young is that if you're very religious, is that you have to constantly be grateful for what you have, or that is the message they always get. You have to be grateful. You have to be always grateful. You have legs, you have arms, so you should be working, you should be doing this, you should be worshiping, you were dealt better cards. And I think that just built that guilt in me and in a lot of you guys, that you have to constantly be doing something other than the academic environment. Since I was younger, I had very strict parents that really wanted me to succeed and do well in school. So I was studying hard, and I'm thankful for them that they did that. But like, still, they could have done it a little bit better. But it really did make me feel like if I'm not constantly studying, if I'm not constantly doing homework, which I can tell you college doesn't give you that much homework, that you're some sort of failing. And unfortunately, that makes you feel pressure when you're not supposed to. And there's a lot of research about it, from psychology to biology and like cortisol levels and all of that. Like, we know that. But how it becomes so much of a part of you that you really can never turn it off. So how can you deal with it? How do you think about it? And that's what I did. I just started understanding why I became who I am. And it didn't help that I went to Berkeley. Berkeley is one of the most competitive places to ever be on planet Earth. I went to an environment that really shaped that too. So it was a lot of stuff. It was not just one moment that made me feel all this pressure. It's something that happened throughout years and years and years. And I'm now better at it because I did the work. And that's what you have to do. You have to understand that pressure is just a part of who you are, and it doesn't really define you. And it's as simple as that. I know it's hard to believe that it's as simple as you just have to realize that pressure, that is a part of who you are, and that it shouldn't define your self-worth, but you have to build outside of work or outside of school. You have to build a life outside of it. And that's what I did. I started picking up gaming more than I used to. I started painting again. I started scheduling appointments to do stuff I like getting my nails done. I love getting my nails done. I like very colorful nails, so I started doing it, even though I knew my mom was going to be mad about it. But the point was, I demanded myself to do other stuff that is less pressure, not think about pressure as much, and like build a life outside of it. I went out with my friends. I started a YouTube channel. Hello. But like, I did everything outside of just medical school or whatever your career path is. And like, I started building my self-worth to be outside of it. My self-worth is not a grade on a sheet of paper, or if I get into a med school or not, because it's very hard to get into med school. It's very hard to get an A at Berkeley. And if I do that, when I did it, I celebrated myself. I'm like, I'm not doing work today. I'm just gonna celebrate. I'm gonna get a pumpkin pie and eat it. I don't know why pumpkin pie came up. Maybe I'm just craving some pumpkin. But that's what it is. It's more that you need to realize that pressure is from yourself and not really someone else or some sort of task. And it's so contradicting because you think pressure is from a time limit or some stuff. And that's also another thing why I didn't really write resolutions this year. I didn't really try to write goals. I'm like, I'm gonna celebrate the New Year's because it's a chance to celebrate, but it's not really different from any other time of the year. That's the same thing with my birthday. I started making wishes that is more just, I want to just live longer, or I want everybody to be healthy this year, rather than I want to do this or that, because that just breeds more that pressure to do something. And like, if you wish the same thing and again, or if you have the same resolution every year, it just makes you feel more pressure. And I hate people that say discipline, because especially neurodiverse people or neurodivergent people, discipline doesn't work. It's not about discipline. I never met anybody that is more disciplined than me. But the thing is, my brain doesn't allow me to do it. I know I have timers, I have everything, but my brain can't let me do this stuff. And that's the thing. There's this whole belief that discipline or whatever is gonna make you stick to it. You don't need motivation. But actually, I do. I have ADHD. My dopamine receptors are fried beyond what TikTok already did. So it's not about just discipline. It's more than that. So I just started embracing who I am. I do have ADHD. I know some days I don't want to do anything, and maybe I just have to take it easy. Maybe I just have to let somebody else motivate me. Maybe I need body doubling. Maybe I need to work while somebody else is working. Maybe I just have to draw on my whiteboard, or actually a blackboard. I love blackboards more. Maybe controversial opinion, but I don't care. But it's just defining who you are in a new way. If you don't get an A, it's not that big of a deal. Trust me. I thought it was, but it really isn't. It's just a number and a paper. And you're way smarter than that. There's more to life than just grades. And in 5 years, nobody will remember your grade. If you got a 520 or a 5.8 on the MCAT, in 10 years, nobody cares. Literally nobody cares. And if somebody does, those people are miserable. So that's why they try to go back and get that grade to be like, oh, great, I'm an awesome human being, la la la. But that's what I'm saying. Don't do it. Also, don't compare yourself. That's another thing. Stop comparing yourself. We're different people. If you just think about genetically, some of us are more genetically primed to do better while workouting. Like, they can work out better. They can see results better. Some of us have just stronger neural connections that make us see patterns better, or anything. Genetics plays, I wouldn't say the hugest part, but it plays a big part of how we talk every day, and we can't talk about, or how we do stuff every day. And we don't talk enough about how much your parents do affect all of that. How they treated you as a child, how your questions were asked. All of that affects who you are. The schools that you go to, I am a public school graduate. I have been through the weeds. A lot of people are not. And they may have better strategies to study than I do, because they didn't have to deal with the hundreds of other stuff that I had to deal with because I was in a different system. That there is so much in life that affects what you do every day, that blaming yourself and feeling pressure because you're not doing something, because you can't just think about something else or just rest, it's not worth it. It's not worth you dying early because there's so much research about it. It's not worth you getting cancer because there's so much research about stress and cancer. It's not worth a lot of what you're sacrificing. So just think about that and go to therapy. That's my advice today. Y'all, go to therapy. It's gonna fix a lot of stuff. I'm kidding. But really, learn about yourself and journal. I don't journal consistently. Don't get me wrong. I journal in my brain, but not really on paper, and that's fine. It's just that you have to go through your thoughts. Some people like to write it out, some people not. But you really need to go through your thoughts, understand, and really, really just feel. Because at the end of the day, there is a reason why we had to feel and why all animals feel, even though that's still debated, but it is an emotion that evolution chose for a reason, because it keeps us alive and it keeps us connected. So just feel and think of how much you did and how far you went. You deserve to rest. And yeah. Anyways, that's all I have today. I don't know if you liked the video or not. If you did, please like, share, and comment, and subscribe. Right, it's YouTube, so subscribe, please. I would really appreciate it. I'm gonna do a lot of rants like this, and I would appreciate you guys giving me topics you want me to talk about. And maybe you got the answers you wanted, maybe you didn't, and maybe I didn't articulate the best I could. So just leave me your feedback in the comment sections. And if you speak Arabic, you can watch my last video about how to structure your goals to be more realistic and how you can achieve them in 2026. Anyways, so see you later, alligators. Bye bye.